Today is May 12th, 2025, exactly 8 years since I started this YouTube channel, meaning I've been doing this for a long time. By far, the longest I have ever stuck with something. I never even imagined that I would find something that I felt was worth doing for this long. But here we are, with a sizable collection of weekly videos behind us, and I am proud to have made it this far. It has been quite a journey that has had some challenges along the way, so I'm thankful to have had so many people supporting the videos and sticking with me for so long. So before I say anything else, I need to stop and make sure that I properly thank everybody that has been a part of this for any amount of time. Collectively, you have all watched the videos over 300 million times, left over 1.1 million comments, and liked the videos more than 7.8 million times. You have also disliked them over 160,000 times, but that is still participating and showing that you care. So even all of you dislikers deserve a big thank you from me. Seriously, this is a great community that has allowed me to spend 8 years of my life doing something that I love to do, and I realize that I am one of the few people fortunate enough to say that. I don't know how to make it sound not cliche, but I hope you realize that I have genuine appreciation for all of it. Alright, now that that's taken care of, I want to talk about the current state of the channel. I was trying to think of different ways to approach this, but I'm going to be straightforward and say that I've been struggling to come up with new video topics each week. And when I hear myself say that, I realize it may not sound like that big of an issue, so let me try to explain. In the beginning, there were so many companies that I wanted to talk about. It was almost overwhelming. I wanted to spend all of my time making YouTube videos, but I limited myself to one per week because I felt I would get better at it over time, and I didn't want to run through all the best topics while I was still making these rookie mistakes. After about 100 of these videos, around the 2-year mark, there were still a bunch of great topics out there, but I had covered most of the ones that I felt were more obvious, like Toys R Us or Blockbuster. So that is when the idea board came about. At CompanyManIdeas.com, people started submitting their ideas and voting on each other's submissions. It is far from perfect, but it has brought a lot of great topics to my attention. At the time, my big goal was to get to the 5-year anniversary, so I identified what I believed to be some of the strongest topics and spaced them out over the next few years. For example, I made a video about Pepsi, waited a year, made a video about Coca-Cola, and then waited another year to make a video comparing the two. It's not like I had a formal list or anything, but I had a good idea of how to keep the topics compelling up until that 5-year mark. In my 5-year celebration video, I said that my plan was to continue the weekly videos for only a few more months and then re-evaluate things. I will admit that ever since that 5-year mark, I've been mostly directionless. The search for new subjects over these past 3 years has resulted in a lot of videos that I would have never made if I didn't have that pressure each week, which has been good and bad. Like Groupon, for example, it was hardly even on my radar until I set out to make a video about them, and it turned out to be the perfect subject for what I do here. If I had a topic like that every week, this would be the easiest job in the world. But on the other end, Victoria's Secret was another result from my desperate search for topics, and I considered that one to be a disaster. Turns out I am not the right person to make that video. I didn't do very well with it, and honestly, I wish I hadn't even tried. If I had a topic like that every week, this would be the hardest job in the world. And lately, it feels like the harder weeks are starting to outnumber the easier ones. Here's a clip from my 5-year celebration video. Every Wednesday, you can check the dates on the videos going back to May of 2017. I have put out a new video on this channel that has met my own personal criteria. They were always the best that I could do at the time. No lazy weeks or cutting corners or anything like that. They've all been between 10 to 15 minutes long since October of 2017 anyway, and ideally, I've wanted each one of them to reach at least 100,000 views, which amazingly has been the case, all with the exception of these anniversary videos. Not that the views are the most important thing, but it does imply that they've remained relevant and there's been a demand for them. I don't exactly count it if I'm going downhill and putting out these videos to nobody, but here we are in year 5 and we're still going strong. Alright, we are back in 2025 and this is what that graph looks like today. And there are currently 6 videos on the channel that have not reached 100,000 views yet, 3 of which probably never will. And even for a lot of them that do reach it, I get the feeling that a lot of the people watching simply don't care that much about it, partially based on the number of comments and what they are saying in those comments. Overall views on the channel have been declining quite a bit, with year 5 being an all-time high and this past year being an all-time low. Please, as viewers of this channel who have been seeing it progress over the years, tell me if you think that I am misinterpreting something or if I'm way off base on something here, but I am really getting the feeling that weekly videos are making less and less sense for me and the viewers. Ideally, I would like to still continue doing it for maybe another year or two to uncover some more hidden gems and to see where things go, but it sure doesn't seem like it's going in a great direction. I'm thinking that the long-term strategy here should probably be a more relaxed schedule, placing more value on quality over quantity when it comes to topics. And look, I'm sorry for dedicating so much of this video to this, but I do feel it's important for everyone to be included, and I would very much like to hear your thoughts about it. Though I do want to clarify that 40,000 new people subscribing to a YouTube channel in its 8th year, and a group of people this big that still care enough about it to celebrate a milestone like this, is not a bad thing. Accounting for everything that comes with this channel, it is still by far a net positive part of my life, and that is why I want to make sure that it is handled properly. I promise, the rest of this video is going to feel much more like a celebration. I made this post asking if anyone had questions about me or the channel that I could potentially answer in this video. Hundreds of people responded to it, and I've selected some of the highest voted along with a few of my favorites to answer right now. The first question is, what was your least favorite video you've made? One of the replies to that suggests the Ouija board video I made in my first year, and yes, I'm not a big fan of that one because it doesn't have much of a point to it. Another reply to that one suggests the Salvation Army video because they say I deleted it. Well, I hate to disagree with you there, but I have never made a video about the Salvation Army specifically, nor have I removed any videos from this channel ever, outside of these anniversary videos, which I always unlist a few days after. But I did make a video about their Red Kettle campaign also in my first year that proved to be a more controversial subject than I had realized, so I would have handled that one a bit differently had I known. But for 95% of my videos, I would say that I am proud with the way that they turned out. Moving on to question number 2, are there any companies you've been surprised to see fail over the past 8 years? Well, on the surface, a lot of them have caught me off guard. Big Lots being a recent one, considering I made a video about how successful they are a few years earlier. Sweet Tomatoes was my mom's favorite restaurant before they mostly shut down. Bed Bath & Beyond seemed to be so stable for a long time, but when you look a little deeper into it, it always makes sense. There's always an explanation that makes it less surprising. Question 3, are there any videos you've wanted to make but haven't because they don't necessarily fit the company man channel? To answer that, I would say yes. Down the line, I could imagine making videos about movie franchises, breakfast cereals, I don't know, all sorts of things, but I don't know if they would find much of an audience or really provide much value to people. Plus, at the moment, I don't really want to spend my free time making YouTube videos as well, if you can understand that. Question 4 is, did you go to college? Which one, and what did you major in? Well, I did go to college, a pretty standard public university, where I graduated with a degree in accounting less than a year before starting this channel. I wouldn't say I regret going necessarily, but I also wouldn't say it has been all that useful for me personally. But think about this for a second. Most of the people graduating from college right now were not even in high school yet when I started this channel. So needless to say, I'm feeling pretty old right now. Question 5, have you found a replacement for those cinnamon apples from the Boston market? If you don't know what they're talking about here, you are going to want to check out my Boston market video, but they got rid of their cinnamon apples and it really messed me up for a while. To answer the question, no, of course not. I can't imagine there will ever be a direct replacement for those, but Costco does make a tasty apple pie, and if you separate the crust from it, close your eyes, and really try to imagine, I guess it's comparable. Question 6, what company history surprised you the most after researching? U-Haul is probably always going to be my go-to answer for that. Trust me, if you haven't already, watch that video and then come back and tell me if any of that is what you were expecting to hear. But looking over the videos from the past year, Tupperware was a much bigger brand than I had previously realized and was a lot more pioneering and culturally impactful than I would have thought. Question 7, are there any companies you would absolutely never make a video on? Well, I don't know if I would use the word never, but there are a few subjects with great stories that I've been apprehensive about. A few tobacco and alcohol companies for obvious reasons. CNN would be a great subject for one of my videos, but I don't know if I could handle it carefully enough without upsetting people. PETA would also be a great one, talking about all the hatred they get, but again, it is touchy, and I feel like I might be smart to simply avoid these. Question 8. Why did you decide to post every Wednesday? I wanted to do it once a week because I felt that it was the highest frequency that I could maintain over a long period of time, but if you're asking why I chose Wednesday specifically, that was mostly a coincidence. I believe my first couple of videos were not on a Wednesday, but then the most recent one happened to be on a Wednesday when I committed to doing it every week. So from there, everything was on a Wednesday, and I think it's a good day. It's right there in the middle of the week, the furthest you could be from a weekend, so maybe appropriate for a business-themed channel. Question 9. 7 years later, what are your thoughts on what is probably your most ambitious video to date, the Comic Sans video? And there's another comment from someone saying that it is a special place in their heart. That video always seems to get brought up during these anniversaries. Let me explain. Only a few months into the channel, Toys R Us filed for bankruptcy, and in the video I made about it, I used the font Comic Sans, not knowing anything about the hatred toward it, just thinking it looked like a childish font that would be fitting for Toys R Us. I was completely caught off guard when people started leaving comments criticizing the font choice. I thought that was really interesting, and I was looking for potential directions for the channel. I wanted to be able to keep things going for a long time, so I was thinking maybe that video would lead to videos about other fonts or whatever else, but clearly that never happened. So today, looking back on it, I think it's cool that it's there, and it actually did pretty well. I don't think too many people could say that they made a video about a font that has been seen by over 700,000 people. Finally, question 10 is a two-parter asking the hard-hitting questions that everybody wants to know. What's your favorite color and what's your favorite dinosaur? My favorite color, when I think about it, might just be the blue that is in the background of my channel icon. I think I discovered how much I liked it when I was creating it. And as far as my favorite dinosaur, I mean, obviously the T-Rex. Those tiny arms on such an intimidating creature make it not only my favorite dinosaur, but my favorite animal of any kind. Let me know in the comments just anything you have to say about the channel, how you discovered it, how long you have been here, what you like or dislike about it, and what you think it should look like in the future. For that year 5 video, I responded to every single comment that was left under it, and it was like my full-time job for a week, so I don't know if I will be going that far with it this time. But I promise, I will be there and I will read anything you write, because maybe even more than usual, I'd like to hear what you have to say. Thank you for everything.